Hey everyone, it's Madison Gesiotto. You know, there is no better time than right now for us to be talking about our Second Amendment rights. As you know, we're less than 90 days away from what could be one of the most critical elections in our lifetimes. And we have Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden, who has now selected his VP pick. Of course, that's Senator Kamala Harris. This is a woman who supports a federal mandatory buyback of guns, a direct violation of our Second Amendment rights. But, you know, what's even more concerning is when we look to the courts and the potential for what we could see when it comes to liberal activist judges on the bench. We've seen what they've done, you know, over the past 20 years in different areas across the country, and we can't afford more of these. We have to continue to step forward and have originalist justices and judges, you know, all the way from the Supreme Court down to the appellate and district courts federally. And so we have grave concerns, of course, when it comes to that ability of the president. But on top of that, I do have some hope that I'm seeing, and that's coming from the numbers for 2020 when it comes to gun purchases, gun ownership. So let's take a look at these incredible numbers, guys. Over 10.3 million gun transactions just in the first half of 2020, and 2.5 million of these being new gun ownership. So of the 10.3 million transactions, 40% were made up of these new gun owners, which is the 2.5 million new gun owners that never had guns before. You compare this to 2019, and that number would have been about 25%. So we saw a significant increase in weapon purchases of new gun owners, which is incredible. Of course, when it comes to female gun ownership, we're also seeing that number rise. And you look back to 2005, and women only made up about 10% of gun ownership statistics. Now, you know, we're looking, women are making up 23%. I expect that to continue to rise. You know, yesterday I walked into a small gun shop here in Phoenix, Arizona, and there was a man in there talking about how, you know, he had never owned a weapon in his life. He was a middle-aged man and said, you know, this is the time. This is my first gun that I'm purchasing. I want to be sure to protect myself and my family with everything I'm seeing going on across the country. This is important to me. And I think this man is really, you know, echoing the sentiment of what people are feeling and seeing across the country. You know, we're seeing the unrest. We're seeing, you know, the devastation that the far left policies can cause to cities. People are sick of it. I don't care whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. There's a lot of people out there that, of course, care more about protecting their families than about supporting the Democratic Party. If this is what the Democratic Party is going to turn into, this isn't the Democratic Party of JFK. This isn't the Democratic Party of the past. This is a Democratic Party that's leaning more towards socialism and communism than anything else. We need to make sure that our Second Amendment rights are protected, and these numbers are giving me great hope. And of course, when I was in that gun shop yesterday, cleared out, just like so many others. 90% of gun shop owners are reporting an increase in sales, with an increase of 100% in weapons purchases and an increase of just under 140% in ammunition purchases. So the stats are strong. We're seeing people that want to protect themselves, especially after, you know, what we've seen with the looting and the rioting and the protesting that did turn violent in many cities. So we'll keep an eye on this. I think it's very, very important. But of course, it all comes back to that election in November, not only just that presidential election, but of course, some of those congressional and local elections as well. Make sure that you're very aware of the stances of those people that you're voting for, and do your research, guys, because it's going to be more critical than ever before in the protection and the fight for our Second Amendment rights.